Aloha. So, here is more of an update with some schooling involved, and I'm gonna work my way backwards. So, I'm gonna start with my current situation and what Divine has told me to share with you guys, because there are some people that have followed, they're up to date with what's going on, and it'll be more like a recap. But I'm always think it's still valuable to hear the recap, because with so much information to be told, there might be something small in there that's helpful to either understanding me or just understanding yourself or someone else. And one way or another, all valuable. So, as far as update, let's do an update on my circumstances. I've been staying at a shelter. Um, it's been very, very hard. When I got to the shelter, I was physically in really bad condition, um, just with the sleep deprivation over many years, constant just attack, abuse, whether it was from loved and close ones, the streets, and everything that came with living on the street. Um, and to sum it up, an eco village that I was at. And just being around people who are volatile and in this awakening and resisting, and um, around really manipulative vampiric energies. So my current situation, I've been staying at a shelter, slowly getting better, but not because my health. I reached burnout, and since I've been on the island and way before on the island when I could handle it, people just want to milk me for every bit of my energy, and because I have so much of it, and I'm about helping everybody, I just keep going and I keep going and I keep going. And then when I reach burnout, and even though my history shows who and what I really am, people can't wait to take a little piece of your current history or current situation and make you out to be never working like my twin. Like she tried to come at me of like, oh, I've always had a job, which she hasn't, because I've helped support her. um, we've had our turn of reciprocation, but if we're really going to talk about some scales being balanced, it's severely imbalanced. And that would be, think of the obvious one with two kids, and me helping the one with two kids. And a lot of my service and duty to them has been overlooked and judged very poorly. And I leave it there, but I reached burnout, right? Um, so I reached burnout from working on trade farms and stuff here on the island. And then I'm just kind of nutshelling it for you before I work my way back. Um, when I come to the island, doing a bunch of work trades, I still had some money in my pocket. Just found person after person taking advantage, wanting way more for the work, not wanting to pay me as a carpenter. Um, and then getting in a relationship of someone I truly did love, but they were with considerably older than I. And older people or handicapped people doesn't mean they are not mean, does not mean that they are not violent. And that was my circumstances. Someone very jealous turned out to be, and a very abusive. And not to me, her kids, and yet even with her kids, it's like I made out to be the bad guy. Even though I know they know how their mama is. So that's kind of and then, so leaving that took me to the streets. That person lied on me a whole bunch, to the state, which after she attacked me, she didn't want to get kicked out of her house because Hawaii state law. She would have had to leave, and I had video proof of it and I'll recap on that. But I didn't get asked any of those questions. That led me to the streets, to an eco village, to now here at the shelter where I'm at. Here at the shelter, it's shown me that we are in a system. Um, it's just like the jail prison system, I would say. All these people have work and have a job because people are homeless. Imagine if they really cured homelessness. then people made their focus to help homeless people. They wouldn't have a job in all of that. So what I realized is it's like good cop turned bad, or just always bad cop. And not saying there aren't some good, mixed in there, but there's a lot that's not. And that even goes to the police that are associated with this facility that I stay in. And on one side of the fence, they've got subsidized housing, which is the people they can't get housed because they've had drug issues and violent issues. And then you got the shelter, which is right next door, and it's in this pocket of a community, and really abusive people. And there's a few people like me that wander in that are competent, sensible, really needed shelter, and we're treated like shit from most of the staff, or half of the staff. I mean, there's a lot that I've spoken up against that I feel has changed a lot of things here. The security was not tight here. There's just a lot that wasn't okay. And then the police, it's almost like they want this area here, I think, to keep a controlled environment for addicts and whatnot, instead of the multitude of drug rehabs all over the island. So it's interesting because it's like there's all these drug rehabs, yet we're in this pocket of a community where people really aren't getting help. And it's called Hope Services, but they really, a lot of it, um, some really do have good intentions, but my understanding is there's a lot of mismanagement of funding that's undercover. Divine has shared with me, and that's getting pulled to light. Um, for some of us, we've gotten general assistance that gives you a few $100s a month, depending on what's happened to you. Like being on the streets can really affect you, and thank God there's people that understand that. And so to get on your feet, um, they're here to help with housing and give you a bit of cash in your pocket. Well, the shelter wants 30% of $400, and that seems a bit expensive, especially when the county is responsible for transit, and then the shelter wants you to pay for like your toilet paper, which is fine, but not when you're trying to catch up, pay people back. Just be away from the crazy shit here, and have a decent meal and food and drink or whatnot. That money in a month can go real fast. Buy yourself new clothes because all my clothes got stolen. Where it is helpful, yes, to give almost a third of it away is a bit much when you're trying to get back on your feet and get prepared to get to housing. Well, recently, to update you on the most current, while I'm staying here, I'm going through the same abuse that I've gone through with many exes that I've had, where my kindness has been taken advantage of. Very volatile women on the women's side, that want my energy, just like my exes. They can't have it, and you call them out on it, they get real violent and probably embarrassed, and do things like putting cat shit and dog shit in front of my window and smushing it in the ground so you can't tell, but you can smell it. They come in all hours because there's no curfew. They do drugs. They lighten up fentanyl and meth inside. And so we have little dividers, 6-foot dividers to our rooms, right? So you can smell and hear everything from the next person over. Well, I'm surrounded by at least 7 women doing fentanyl and meth, and I didn't know it, and that pushed me into attempted suicide because I couldn't take the intensity I was feeling in my body and everything. I just thought, like, well, because I'm so sensitive to people's energies, I've felt these feelings before around people, right? But this was on a whole new level, and my body couldn't take it week after week. Little did I know till Divine, which is also why I'm sending this message, is I was misunderstanding some of the message. So part of me coming to you guys today is to show you how easy it is, no matter how good you are at decoding, it is to not gather the message all the way. So in that, what I'll say is this: over a few months time, like 3 months, right, 2-3 months, Divine says you are, one moment, Okay. You are most likely going to have a seizure. You will either have it in the restroom or your bed. I'm like, what the why would I? And does that mean my time is up? Because I've been wanting to get up out of here, right? Well, that was like, let's just say that began at, the first month. Over the course of that time, I kept getting reminded that I may. It may not, but I might. Well, then I'm also in between all the different multitude of messages and other things, that are not related but connected or not connected. I'm shown like a police officer falling out, ODing off of fentanyl when they're doing a home search, right? But by the time I've seen this a post relating to that, not the same one, I realized, oh, you're trying to tell me something. Well, I dated a cop who, to say the least, had a drug issue and was seeking fentanyl at one point. And I was so naive during that point, I didn't even know what was going on. A friend had to tell me what the heck was going on. Fast forward to now, I still didn't know the effects of fentanyl, right? Apparently it's a downer, but people smoke it with the meth, it's an upper. And so that's what the type of women I've been living with. They are doing that. So they're up at all hours, they're smashing, they're banging things, they're cussing things, they're always mad. They don't care about rest, and there's no time for restoration. Rest, restore, restoration. So what that also pulls me to is divine with this message is how the other forces, when you're becoming so enlightened, when they say, oh, the devil comes for you. Well, this is how it routes, the dark energy routes people like them to come disrupt our restoration, so we can't evolve physically and be strong and raise our consciousness even further, adapting to our light bodies. And so with years of sleep deprivation, going back to my late 20s, from my marriage to later a almost 7-year relationship with a cop who was on drugs. Didn't understand why she's keeping me up all hours. So naive that she was doing it for so long. To living with my sister, paying rent, helping pay rent, and her and her kids staying up till 1:30 in the morning when I gotta do construction. And we're not talking about no little house stuff. We talking about high rises and stuff, where harness, excavators, uneven territory, driving big rigs. And I got a family that doesn't give a shit that I need rest and it's quiet time. And then you fast forward to my relationships thereafter, where if the women can't have my energy, they'll make sure I don't sleep. And if I decide we can't sleep in the same room just because they hold toxic energy, they're gonna be a bitch and volatile and violent. And so I've gone so many years up to now. I'm 47, right? So that's a long time. It's 2 decades to be sleep deprived. And you know what? It's been mainly behind women. So now here I am. I'm in the shelter having the divine tell me you're going to have a seizure, and taking me through how to breathe through it when it happens. And I'm like, but I didn't think, I thought there's a chance it might. It's like, it's a good chance it will. To save you all the details, I got shown all these social media posts, all of this literature, all these things that could have been related, like to the cop who I was told will have a fentanyl overdose, right? To realizing, oh, this is about me. I may have a seizure in the bathroom or my bed because they doing it in the bathroom when I'm showering. And one night I get taken, see, this is how divine works, is takes me to observe things and be aware of things. I'm always at the right place at the right time, usually, right? I get taken to the bathroom one night, and they're just like zombies, 2 ladies, and they turn around and their backs are to me because they don't want me to see them. And it's like they're clearly on a downer but an upper, right? They're standing, but they're like zombies, right? And it's just become flooded with these women in the shelter. So they're all friends. They work shifts at the gate, selling. Staff is aware. Staff makes the threats of, you're not supposed to do this, you're not supposed to do that. Here's what they're not supposed to do, right? Okay, be respectful. Um, Follow staff, no aggressive shouting, threatening, disruptive behavior. It's all the time. No weapons all the time. No alcohol, drugs all the time. No curfew. Um, no drug testing. Um, Stealing items. Um, Smoking in the rooms. Not cleaning up after themselves. Women here are the most disgusting creatures I have ever experienced in my life. It's just gross to try to go shower in the restroom or even clean it behind them, and they want to make a mess and think that you should clean it and get pissed off because they made this crazy gross mess with feces and stuff, and you don't want to clean up after them. It's like narcissism to its fullest and gaslighting. So this is what I've been going under the last few months while trying to get housing, but also having staff sabotage it. And not knowing that, but there's a history of a lot of us competent in here and probably not that have the same stories. And I realized this is like a sick, twisted movie. And here I am. I awaken like I have many nights, so my heart racing, and the women would spray an overabundance of fragrances because they're doing that to cover up the smell, and they got told not to because we didn't know why they were doing an overabundance, but it was really making me sick because I'm just highly sensitive. Turns out they were doing it so overabundantly to cover up the drugs. So now they don't care. The smell dissipates fast enough. But when you got 7 people around you, either side, in the back of you, no wonder I'm, not coping well to this. And I start to go through the seizure like 2 months or 2.5 months after I was told about I will probably have a seizure. And it's like lights off, lights on, like flickering a light switch. My eyes are like, and I'm like, oh shit, what's going on? And I just start to see colors. And once I started seeing colors and feel my body shake, I was like, holy shit, I'm having a seizure, And I was in my bed like I was told by the divine, and I started breathing like I was told, and I started coming out of it, and I stopped the breathing. As far as like the focus of, and not seeing it through, and then it came right back, and I was like, and I breathed through, but not trying to breathe deep because I'm like, I'm not trying to take in more of whatever I took in. So it was very, it's not like I won't be okay, but these are traumatizing things that I've been through. Over and over and over. And why in February I attempted suicide? Because by the time I made it here and I was seeing how the staff was, how the world was, how people I was guided to weren't listening. No one was reciprocating. They were listening. They're watching me on YouTube, but they weren't reciprocating anything. No one, I feel like, probably just watching me like a movie, Being told by Divine, who I've been guided to, what celebrities have their business chat open to me. Big ones. And then what ones don't, that are little. And just amazed that nobody's helping, but people are watching. And how so many celebrities can change the world with so little. And how so many of them are stuck in vanity while the world is going to hell. And they definitely could have a part in it. And it's like, I know the way home. I know how to guide everybody home. And I'm being looked at as crazy, so I get this general assistance check because of what the streets have done to my mind and the abuse has done to my mind. And yes, there's all of that. But it's like, oh, you hear voices. And even though I say, well, it's not so much like voices, but I've heard voices. Um, they hear what they want to hear. They want you to take medications, you know. And if I don't comply, then I'll lose the general assistance. I already lost it one time. I gained it back. We'll see how that goes. But like I said, it's not much. So here I am, doing whatever I can, going to therapy appointments, trying to get this body back. I'm doing a deep cleanse, and I've just got really volatile people around me in a system that makes room for them to be comfortable in it. And I realize there's not many places for people like me to go and receive like hospitality. And there's plenty of places if you're willing to throw your life in the gutter. And part of the message today was to let you guys know how easy it is to be on the wrong bus and how things can be set you back. So I'm going to use an example, and I've left it out of my conversations a lot. But we've just reached a threshold, and Divine says to share it, so I'm going to share it. A long time ago. Well, first of all, how far it can set you back. Maria, I had stability and I was on my way. I moved in with her, helped her run the Airbnb. She wanted a complete slave of love and labor without her doing nothing and just dancing her way through everything and making it like I wasn't doing shit. Abusing me the whole way, verbally, financially, doing the cleaning of her Airbnb and her not wanting to pay me for it because I now lived with her. And it's like, I live with you because you wanted me closer to you because we couldn't afford to travel back and forth. And there's all these things I could say about it, but she just wanted to make sure I couldn't go be to and from without her. She wanted me by her side 24/7. It's a whole nother story. So a bunch of manipulation while abusing me and telling me, oh no honey, you don't listen to me, I know I'm being wrong, and you take all the time you need. And I'm not like just taking all the time I need. I'm in a complete transition of life, which she knew, and she capitalized on my vulnerability, transitioning from commercial carpentry to music and spiritual guidance. And she was jealous of the attention from other people to myself, even though she had me 100. So anyways, 2 years later, I'm here at a shelter trying to get back on my feet, you know. So that's how far it sent me back. And why that brings me to telling you guys, as guided, is working backwards. I get pulled to watch part of the AMAs. So this is regarding Jennifer Lopez. Generally, I don't share the details of other people, again, but it's important that you guys know that, because it's just so you guys can learn from example and see how things unfold. She had her business chat open to me, whereas at one point nobody else did. So she received a lot of information from me, and I would say that I guided her on a whole lot, and I prophesized a whole lot, and she didn't help. And it hurts me to say that for her, because it's not like I want people to have it bad with her. She's a celebrity. To her, I'm a commoner, you know. How I introduced myself, anything could have just scared her, you know. She could have felt like I was a stalker. She could have felt like many things, that it wasn't safe. And so I just did as told, and I kept sending the videos, you know. And then I feel like there would be reciprocation in a statement to a photo that like she got the message, you know. But it was disappointing because she didn't help. And I was like, wow, don't you see me suffering? So there's a lot that I don't understand, Divine says, but a lot Divine is not pleased with on her side of things. A lot Divine understands, and a lot Divine is like, so if people really following me, Jesus Christ, the man people call Jesus Christ, they would have made their way to you. The AMAs. So before the AMAs hit, I've been providing guidance over the last year and a half plus, almost 2 years actually. Yeah, like 2 years now. But the AMAs of this year, um, she, I was told before then, months before then, she's gonna fall on her face because she hasn't listened, she hasn't helped, not the people that she should, and she's still putting herself out there, with vanity, and wanting basically too much attention, and that's a distraction, right, to other people getting on their divine path, finding their divine partner because they're focused on someone they will never have. We're not intended to even have a lot of partners. Some of us just because people, their divine partner isn't in this realm, you know and the alignments. But there's a lot to explain on that and how it works. But and what a true mirror soul and twin is. People have, from what my observations of a lot of these readers, they have it wrong. And I'm going to blow everybody's mind apart about it's not just an ideal of a mirrored twin. There's so much to say about that. But for now, I was told Jennifer would fall on her face for not helping me. Well, a week before the AMAs, I'm not saying she fell on her face, but she bumped her nose pretty good. Had to go to some minor plastic surgery. Maybe not plastic surgery, but a plastic surgeon. Make sure it looked good, right? I was also told that way before then that she was gonna, if she didn't stop, she's gonna pull the muscles under her shoulders. Then, as she kept progressing past the time when I was told she will cancel her tour, her tour will get canceled one way or another, and we will bring her to you. I'm supposed to guide her with a lot of other celebrities, actually, but she was supposed to catapult it along with a select few, and none of them showed up, but they did open their business chat to me, which is a big deal on social media because they're not going to just have that open to anybody, you understand, and not consistently. I was told she would cancel it, or Divine would make sure that she was canceled. I see, oh, okay, like 9 show dates got canceled, at this time. I think it was around June last year. I'm not sure, don't quote me. So I was kind of feeling like, Divine, why'd you tell me she's going to cancel the whole tour? Like, dang, I'm like suffering at this eco village. Like, when is she coming? And like, don't worry, she will be there. She's on her way. I've been told she's on her way for quite some time, for 2 years now. Still providing her guidance. Going through abuse. The streets. Now, I'm seeing her only having 9 show dates. Divine says, hold on, just wait. And I don't know if it was like weeks later, the whole tour date's canceled. Okay, so Divine, of course you never lie. It's just the timing. Sometimes I start to lose faith or I get off, because things can get shifted around depending on free will of other people. So I get my confirmations and my proof, and we fast forward to these AMAs, and sure enough, she bumps her nose. Now I'm told she's gonna pull the muscles in her arms, and then I'm also told, well, yeah, she's gonna do that, but now she's most likely gonna dislocate one shoulder, and matter of fact, now 2 shoulders. I'm like, how is that? And they're like, dancing. We're gonna make sure she's not dancing no more. Well, sure enough, Divine takes me to this post of hers, and literally she showcases the move that Divine's like, that's it right there, where she's getting flipped backwards. 2 people have an arm, and she almost looked like she fell in, and but she wouldn't have fallen on her face. It looks like she would have fallen backwards, right? But that would have been the move to dislocate the shoulders. I warned her, but what I'm told is it's gonna happen no matter what. Like, not even I can stop it. So let's get to the AMAs now that she's persisted on. Instead of taking the time off, she did take time off from her tour to be with the kids as guided, or I did guide her that. I won't say that she did it as guided. Well, with the AMAs, she's introducing Gloria Estefan. Well, if anyone knows Gloria Estefan, she was in a horrible accident, literally on a bus. And this is the whole thing, is Divine keeps saying, they'll get on the school bus, all these ladies that we've guided you to, they're going to get on the school bus, but the whole power of money is going to flip because they didn't provide. We led them to you. I led them to you. They didn't provide. Their ancestors led them to you. They didn't provide. So they're going to have to see what it's like now. Do I wish that on them? No. But at the same time, if they came across to me like Divine says they did and they just didn't help, holy shit, you know? Well, yeah, they must have, because their business line is open to me for chat and they receive my messages. So that's a hard one, because I've told them, tried to guide them on where they should go. I've prophesied what's going to happen to Callie and Oregon, to Jen. A lot of it's already started to happen to Callie, and a whole bunch of other stuff. But it's kind of like she's supposed to be the catapult for me, and me a confirmation for her, and well, to keep her from falling, basically. Two things about the setback. Okay. Oh, so the thing is, that bus that Gloria Stefan was on set her back. So she was probably guided to not be on the road, not be doing things, and it took a whole lot of recovery, right? And it doesn't mean you're doing something bad even, you know? But here I am, I was in a relationship, and I left my stability to take a chance on this relationship and what seemed more sensible at the time for everything going on in life, and it set me back. Now think about people who are just out here maliciously doing things and how things can set them back. Well, don't get on the wrong bus. And so I would say Jen's on the wrong bus. All these people that come forward with Diddy's thing, they got on the wrong bus, and they scared of the dark side, so they didn't walk on the light, but now they got to pay both. They need to start walking on the light side and dare to go broke if that's what it is, because that's part of the transition for some of us. Like the military, you get broken down, you know? So get broken down to get built up again and reprogrammed. Two things about me. One about me. Okay. So the whole thing is, there's a lot of supposed to be people be on that bus here to Hawaii to me before the world hit destruction. And now the world has been hitting so much destruction. Eventually, there won't be airports, is my understanding. People be kind of stuck where they're at. Some, even though mass destruction will occur, they'll be in nicer areas. But they got to go on their walkabout. They got to go on their journey and learn how to talk to their ancestors and connect with the divine, so that they know how to put in their requests, so they know how to get guided actually up out of here, this realm, earth. And they want to get it right this time, trust me. And that's what I'm here to service, and that's what Jen was supposed to catapult with, what I prophesied for her, what I've guided for her, and the others. But mainly her, because she has such a big following. But they're following her to the party, don't know how to get home. They think by being in love and whatnot, which is actually a lot of lust, that they're going to get home because they are good-hearted people. But I'm the way now. I can show people the way. I can cut out a whole lot of time, which they call like quantum leaping, and beyond that. But it takes people like her being a voice for me, what they've learned from me, guiding people to me. so I can be in a peaceful environment, continue my work. I'll leave it there for now. Peace, love, and so many blessings all over all of you.